They call me the terror from the barrier. They call me the snowball from Cobalt. But you may call me Tusk.
Yo, yo, Sminny TV here, coming at you again with another The Immortal Way, guys. Today, got a nice little video for you. It's going to be in a position 4 hero that's been kind of roaming and just be kind of tearing up the competitive scene right now. It is Tusk, probably one of the best hero voice lines in the game, the Snowball from Cobalt. And today, actually, it's going to be a little bit different. I actually shown you a game I lost, but I think I played quite well, and I was able to really talk about when to rotate, how to rotate, and how to really get into the mind of roaming in position 4, because I haven't really done that in any of my videos so far. Another quick shout out actually to my university Dota team. We played the national finals last week. It was being casted by T Governor and Nomad, and we ended up winning 3-2. To shout out to my boys from UCL. And other than that, guys, let's jump into the video and get started. Peace. So guys, this is the game. I ended up first picking Tusk. I think he's one of those heroes now that is good. I mean, like I think the best idea of to know when to pick the hero is probably looking at in like a competitive environment. So obviously a lot of the competitive games right now, obviously with the ESL 1 just finished and the Pushka League coming up, a lot of these Tusk picks are just in the first phase, and normally in games like that, if you're able to first pick it, you're able to first pick it in pubs as well. You know, the same as you would never first pick a Broodmother or a Huskar, for example. You know, you leave until later. But as a hero like this, it's kind of good in most matchups. So able to just go ahead and just first pick it. Laning with a Pango, I think it's really, really important, whatever lane you play, understanding who you're playing with and who you're playing against. So in this game, it's going to be me and Pango versus PL and Disruptor. And I think it's important to know when you play a hero like Tusk or another melee position 4 like Earth Spirit, or Clockwork, for example, knowing actually should I pull the wave, like on the second wave, should I be pulling it back or not? In that scenario, I don't actually, because we end up getting early lane control, and that's the whole point of really whether I should pull the lane or not. So starting off, guys, in terms of starting items, I think this is kind of the standard. The one alternative is having boots, and boots tangos instead of, say, Orb of Venom. But I think having the extra set of regen, particularly if I don't want to pull the lane, and obviously in this game I don't pull the lane, so having that extra salve and the Orb of Venom can be slightly better, so we can set up kills on the Disruptor really. So I end up going for this instead of the boots, but boots is also a good alternative. I think those are the two main builds. So end up running up straight up trying to get a ward down. This one's really nice to have. I think you either do this kind of D-ward and put this ward here, or to block the camp. But because I'm not pulling and cutting the wave, I don't actually block the camp. So this ward allows me to sort of see couriers, see where the disruptor is, and you'll see actually as the game progresses, this ward is actually really, really useful and to give me information on where the support is. So I think really when you play a hero like a position 4, like a Roma melee, like Tusk, Clockwork, etc., the two kind of ways you play is either do I cut the wave to get experience because the lane is too hard to kind of contest because we're double melee, or do we try and fight and get kills? And in this game, I decided to go for kills because I think we can kill the Disruptor very easily with the Pango and the Tusk. But some lane matchups and some hero combinations, you just want to kind of forfeit the lane and try and get as much as you can by pulling the wave and stuff. Say perhaps the combination of me and Pango was something worse and something very difficult and bad and poor laning stages, and we're playing against some really strong laning stage. Then I'll just be pulling as much as possible to get to get my offlaner as much CS as possible. So obviously queuing up boots and stick, kind of very standard items, and just kind of keeping in my mind and keep telling the Pango, look, our kind of kill target really is the Disruptor. We're going to struggle to kill PL because at level 2 he's probably going to have the double ganger and able to kind of get out from my ice shards, and it's just a lot more difficult to kill, whereas the Disruptor is very easy. So contesting runes, really, really important when you have kind of 2 melee brawlers. We're looking for kills. Obviously start off with tag team and with my Orb of Venom, just sort of smack the support very simply and able to get first blood. Unfortunately, we lose both the bounty runes here, which is a bit of a shame. I think perhaps if Panga was faster on a trigger, he could have maybe got at least this bounty rune. But getting first blood, still really useful nonetheless. So with this ward as well, able to sort of see Disruptor TPing in, and obviously when I see this, I just kind of want to see if we can kill Disruptor as quick as possible because he won't have TP available. So if he dies again, then he's going to have to walk, so it'd be really, really left out. So immediately when I see this happen and we see like the creep wave is going into the tower, I know I don't really need to pull because the lane control is going to be in our favor. And really kind of getting, when you play off lane control is really important really to get lane control. Because if we're going for a kill lane, which in this case we are, we need the lane control back so we can chase the support or whoever. If the lane's here, we can't chase the disruptor because he's going to be under his tower. So getting the wave back is really, really important. And in this case, they've pushed it like straight away for us, which is quite nice. So just my positioning here, obviously just going back to it, like this lane, like as in me and Pango, are a kill lane. Some lanes are a bit different. Perhaps they're just sort of harass lanes. Perhaps I'm playing with a profit, and we just want to slowly whittle them down, and then able to take the tower. And so because of that, like the way you play the lane is different. Because we're a kill lane, it's all about getting lane control and securing kills, and that's how we win the lane if we were to win it anyway. So here, obviously, I'm just waiting for the disruptor to come down. I have a ward to sort of see, and I'm just going to trade with him as much as possible. The less regen he has, the easier it is for me to kill him later on. So just kind of resetting and stuff. We're getting the lane control here. Just want to be hitting the disruptor as much as possible. I'm a melee hero with 3 armor. He's a ranged hero with 2 armor, and obviously I'm going to be trading with Orb of Venom as well. So any time I get a chance to hit him one-on-one is a really nice trade. Pango kind of goes in the tower, a bit unnecessary. We lose the range creep as well because of that, but what can you do? And this is where the salve really kicks in as well. If I have boots now, I'm kind of struggling to really reset the lane. But obviously, I'm just waiting out to the side. Again, I'm looking to get kills on the disruptor. I can't kill the PL, and so I just walk around. And this is all about kind of positioning, really, and having the lane back as well. And easy enough, we end up killing the disruptor straight away. So it's 2-0 already in this lane. And although perhaps we don't have the most last hits, like my Pango's 4-0 versus 10-3, at least we have kills, and plus we have a wave coming in as well. And the Pango is kind of similar to the PL in net worth. So that's kind of like my understanding, really. I can only kind of kill the disruptor, so I'm going to be kind of playing out a vision. I can't harass the PL really because I'll be dragging creeps because I'm a melee hero. So I just want to be either stopping the pull, which the ward helps me, and I can kind of get a lot of damage onto the disruptor here. Go for the ice shards. I think ice shard is kind of preferable. Also, it blocks me from pulling the creep wave as well, which is nice. And again, a lot of damage onto the disruptor. He has no self, so next time we go on him, we can kill him. I have the clarity I had from earlier as well, and my boots are being sent out as well. And kind of baiting the disruptor. He's had to give the Wraith Band to the PL as well, and we end up killing a disruptor here again. I end up dying here and trading with the PL, but seeing as I was out of regen and I was low already, like this kind of trade is actually really good for me because disruptor had just TP'd, so he can't TP back to the lane, whereas I can. So I can TP back into the lane and we can pressure the PL 2v1. So in that sense, it was a really nice trade. Plus, I'm able to pick up all the items from Pango. So me dying there actually is a good trade overall. And now we're 3-1 in this lane. So deliver all the items to Pango, and I'm going to try and harass the PL as much as I can. I mean, I'm a melee hero, kind of hitting him into creeps here, but it's good to kind of pressure him when we can because we're 2v1. So we force out the doppelganger, take some HP away from him, just pressure him as much as we can. I've got boots now as well, but when Disruptor comes back into the lane, as I see him from the ward here, my kind of main focus is really, again, just trying to man up on the Disruptor there. I didn't actually spot this ward, actually, and seeing as I had a ward on him, I should have sort of seen that and noticed it, been more on top of it. But again, whenever Disruptor's out of position, I mean, with the Ice Shards as well, we can kind of kill him anytime we want, basically. Anytime he kind of moves up. And that's kind of the benefit of going Ice Shards over Snowball, particularly at level 2. Pango has kind of a way to initiate anyway with his swashbuckle, so I don't need to bring him into the engagement. I can just kind of block off the path with ice shards, and that's definitely the better. So obviously lane's pushing, we have double range creep, and we're disruptor dead and no TP. We get the chance to kind of get a nice pull off here, and they can't do anything about it because me and PL are kind of posting up here. So I'm kind of low on HP and mana. Obviously, it's really important just to kind of send that regen to yourself. Like if I'm half HP for half mana, I can't threaten a kill on any of them, and I'm just gonna end up trading or dying. And particularly when I'm a level above, me trading. I mean, the structure has died 4 times already. So if I trade my death or my kill for him, like if I die and end up trying to kill him, it's not really worth it. And PL would like the trade, to be honest, because we're focusing on his support instead of him. So I want to make sure I'm topped off so that if we go for a gank, go for a kill, we can end up killing him. Again, I'm just kind of waiting for the disruptor for the 5-minute rune. Had a ward seeing that he's walking down here, and we end up kind of able to sort of secure the kill on the disruptor again. And it gets to the point now where like I've killed this disruptor like 5 times. I've kind of given my Pango like a good lane, and I am no kind of longer really needed, or I can't get as much value out of my hero being kind of top, because we can't really kill the PL until Pango hits 6, because we just don't have the AoE, we don't have the damage, and so me being in this top lane, all I can really achieve is killing this disruptor. But I've killed him 5 times already, and now it's time for me to kind of look elsewhere on the map. Really, it's night time. It's easier for me to kind of set up kills elsewhere. I'm low on mana, and as I was running back to the bounty runes, because I'm closer to base, I might as well reset and go back to base. I have a clarity on me, but it's a lot better if I just reset to base. So I'm looking perhaps to go bottom, but also to go mid. My lone droid is 5, and when I see TA pushing up, pressuring the tower, bit of an overextension from him, I'm looking to sort of set up a kill on him straight away. So I TP in, he's still pushing the tower, and when we see this, an easy ice shards block his retreat and keep him in tower vision as well, that if he does have meld, he's going to be in trouble. And simple as that, set up a kill on the mid. So right now, like, I'm kind of balling out of control. Like, I'm 204, set up kills top, set up kills mid. I could, if I had the one problem that like if I TP bottom, or if I look to sort of set up kills bottom, I have to stay bottom for a while, because it's, I can't really run top from bottom. It's just too long of a distance. So if I were to make a play, making a play mid is more important for me, because I can then rotate top or bottom just from running, because I have boots now. Whereas if I TP bottom, I'm kind of isolated and sort of trapped bottom, which I don't really want to be. As a roamer, you want to have your options open wherever you can. And not only that, but setting up a kill mid is actually more important than setting up a kill bottom, because of mid is the highest level. It has impact throughout the game, and it's a more valuable kill. Like this TA was top net worth, or probably still is top net worth. He was top net worth before he killed him. So it's really a more important kill than perhaps killing the Underlord. Jug's having a good lane anyway. He's kind of beating the Underlord by 300 gold. So I'm just going to rotate back top. Pango's closing on level 6, and we can easily set up another kill on the Disruptor, and maybe threaten the PL if he gets low as well. So sort of see the Disruptor here. Again, don't trap him perfectly with the Ice Shards here. And could he's kind of set up here, but Pango misses his swashbuckle, and by this time I'm already kind of committed, really. The only chance I have really of sort of surviving is if maybe I can get my skills off cooldown, because I had an arcane rune. But with Pango missing his swashbuckle there, and again, these engagements are just not going to be favourable, and they're not going to turn out well, and as a result it shows. And we end up both dying here, which is pretty bad overall. So I have level 4 now. Again, with Pango being kind of dead, I don't really want to just go back top, seeing as I know that Techie's up there as well. So I look to go for the TA, who's going for the D ward, and again setting up a nice kill onto this TA, which really kind of shuts him down. And with that, you'd hope that my lone droid would be doing better really into the CS. I've killed him twice now. I've really helped his lane. and he's still really not that far ahead. In fact, he's actually like 400, 200, 300 goal behind him after he's died twice, which is actually quite kind of concerning, really. I ended up putting the sentry down there. I remember he did have a ward, but I mean, he's placed this ward ages ago, and it's kind of been alive for 4 minutes or so. So kind of just trying to sort of see if he had a ward there. Particularly when you play position 4, like vision and knowing, like having the enemy team know where you are is really important, because you offer threat on everyone in all the lanes. So if they know where you are, then you have less value in terms of that. Kind of get done by techies there, really. End up sort of setting a kill up on the disruptor, but Pango ends up kind of dying. But I'm able to solo kill the disruptor this time, and with him dead, I'm able to take the shrine as well. So I'm just kind of looking to sort of set up kills, really. Like that's my job, really. Like, set up kills, create pressure, and relieve pressure where needed to, basically. Obviously, Lone Joy doesn't really need the haste so much, really. I was thinking about perhaps like laning top for a little bit while Pango is dead, but the lane's back burr off, and I have no mana, so I offer no threat, really, in terms of kill threat. Obviously, if I have no mana, I offer no kill threat, so I have to reset. I have no clarity, so I just got to run back to base. So Pango is level 6 now, but I know that Disruptor isn't with him, because he showed on the ward here a second ago, and he's going to show up again here. So what I can do, so before we TB here, so this TB actually for me is actually quite bad on hindsight, really. I sort of see this Disruptor here thinking, oh, like if he comes up we can just kill him straight away. Now, even if you kill him, it's not that impactful. He's level 3, like we've killed him 6 times already. Like there comes a point where like diminishing returns plays into a factor. And with me TPing here, it's actually bad, because now I don't have this TP for anywhere else, like top or bottom. And so in scenarios like this, where you don't really know exactly where to go, you should keep your TP available and walk to a lane instead of TPing. Because right now I TP, try and set up a kill on the Disruptor, and it ends up failing. I end up going a bit deep. And it's kind of just, it's a two force, Whereas I talked about before how about perhaps, when Pango's level 6, maybe I can set up kills with the Pango on the PL. Perhaps I should have done that. And it's just like it's a small thing, but it has an impact, really. TA's died twice, obviously, and he's probably just going to be farming jungle, because he knows that if he shows up on lane, he could die again. And he's still farming really well. He's 400 net worth above my lone droid, who I've ganked twice for, which is a little bit worrying, really. So I should have walked top, walked bottom, and had the TP available for me, because now I don't really have the greatest place to be. And because I don't have the greatest place to be, I'm kind of, looking to force things a little bit, like I'm looking to go mid, looking to go top. I end up walking top in the end. But, Quops TP'd bottom, and it's kind of a little bit forced overall. But with Pango level 6, PL's, Pango's taken a lot of damage as well. Already, because I haven't been with him. We end up kind of eventually getting the kill. No decent procs on the lucky shot, and he ends up dying. But we do trade for the PL, which in that case probably is a good trade, seeing as Pango was 1,000 net worth behind the PL. So good trade, but still not ideal, really, and that kind of goes back to me TPing mid. If I ran top instead of TPing mid, we would have had that chance on that kill on PL earlier. So I'm level 7 now. I end up going to be going for phase boots, actually, which I think in games like this where I'm having a good game, I'm like nearly the same net worth as the enemy offlaner. I'm 4, 2, and 5. If I have phase boots, I can probably do a lot of damage onto the Disruptor and the techies with my punch, maybe even onto like the Underlord as well, because he's got low armor, for example. So I end up going for the phase boots here. Like, it really works quite well if you can get away with going phase boots if you're having a good game. If you're not, I think probably just Tranquils is nice. Gives you more movement speed to sort of roam around the map. And really important when you go for phase boots, and say perhaps if you're going for arcane boots, for example, is to always have clarities on you, because you really run out of mana, and obviously if you have no mana, then you don't really have much threat altogether. So end up walking mid here, and I just kind of want to get. First of all, I wanted Lone Droid to keep that catapult alive. He ended up, I think, like denying it, which is really annoying because, you know, right now the enemy team are kind of happy with the state of the game. Really, like TA wants to farm. She wants to farm her Desolator. PL wants to sort of farm. Right now, like they want a period of kind of stability and just defensive play. Whereas we have Lone Droid. He has like Mask of Madness coming out soon. We want to be taking towers, putting pressure on them, and going to getting aggressive. So when like this, even though this is kind of bad for me, and I'm looking to go, I'm probably going hyper aggressive and kind of forcing things, which is never good. If you're forcing things are going good. But my mindset, my mentality is that if we keep just kind of farming, like we will end up losing this game, and we end up losing the game. And I feel a large part of it is because we were playing too defensive, really. So I'm just looking to sort of set up plays here. End up walking bot, we kill Disruptor, so we kill up the Techies and the Underlord as well. So, plays are being made, kills are happening, but really the enemy state is still happy. Like TA is just pushing out mid, going jungle, PL's doing the same in the top lane as well. And because of that, they're the top net worth. So even though we are kind of crushing the Underlord, the Techies and the Disruptor, with the amount of kills we killed them, it doesn't really change the game. You hear competitive games always talk about win conditions. Like the win condition this game is like the TA kind of balling out of control, getting early Roshan, having this kind of real strong mid-game timing from the TA, and eventually PL having mana and diffusal. So I really I'm like pinging mid. We have Lone Droid. Like when TA has more damage onto your tower than you have onto the TAs, like there is a problem happening. And so I'm kind of just looking to play around mid. I want kind of my team to stop playing all three lanes. And this happens a lot at kind of higher divine, lower mortal bracket, where everyone's kind of greedy. Like the laning stage is starting to kind of fizzle out now. It's like 12 minutes. This is the time where I always talk about in my previous videos where the carry should really be coming away from his safe lane and putting pressure on the off lane tower. Even though Jug probably isn't in too much threat in staying bottom and he can keep the tower up, it slows the game down. Like if no movement is happening, and everyone just plays their side of the map, which in this case is happening, we're not really crossing the river. And we're not crossing the river because towers aren't being taken. And then in this game, the Dire side are really in the benefit. They want kind of 15 minutes of just farming where TA can build up Podesso, the blink, and then she wants to get aggressive. PL wants as much time as he can before he gets the diffusal, the mana. Whereas we are more on the timing because we're on a timer. Like if TA and PL gets these items, we're going to be in trouble. So we need to be the one making plays and doing something. So even though, yes, it's good that Jug can sit in the safe lane and keep his tower up, at the same time, because he's bottom, he's not top and he's not taking that tower, and therefore he's not progressing the game. Even though if he goes top, he might lose his tower. At least he's progressing the game in some area. There's movement being happened. There's something happening. There's plays being made. So, and that's what I'm kind of trying to do. But even though I've had a good game and I've set up a lot of kills, I'm not able to take these towers and pressure this map. What I want my team to do is stop playing three lanes and consolidate two. And you'll see that in competitive play. Around the laning stage, what will end up happening is competitive teams will consolidate two lanes. Normally, that is the mid lane and the off lane. Sometimes it's the mid lane and the safe lane, and sometimes it's both the side lanes. It just depends on the scenario. But off the laning stage, around 12, 13 minutes, and sometimes even earlier, and in competitive games, it happens a lot earlier because games happen a lot more faster. But they consolidate two lanes, and then because of that, they can have movement in other lanes, set up kills, farm the jungle. Like right now, we don't have like any neutral items. We might have one, I think, perhaps. We have one on the Lone Droid because he's the only one farming jungle, but we're not farming these items, yada, yada, yada. And so I'm just trying to make things happen. But again, going for a kill on the Underlord, it's because the only one I can able to really get. TA's pushing out mid, going jungle, PL's doing the same. So I'm just kind of looking for kills on to something or anything really, because I'm trying to progress the game forward. But a large part of this is down to the cause really. I see bottom, Underlord sort of backs off, but I see him kind of push back down again. So I return. This is a blind ice shards, just like to point out. Really nice ice shards, and we end up killing the Underlord again. So I'm like the same level as Underlord, and we have really, really destroyed him. But again, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. The win condition heroes on the enemy team is TA and PL, and if they're having good games because they're able to farm jungle because their tier 1 is up from both sides, they're not being threatened. So I kind of get a bit too aggressive, just trying to force things down the throat, and whenever you force things, you know, mistakes happen. So that's just my bad, really. But I feel I have the right mentality, just, you know, that's just the wrong way to execute it, really. Ideally, like, Pango should be like, if Jug isn't leaving bot, Pango should come mid. Ideally, Jug should be either top or mid as well, because then we can get this tower. Like, having TA able to kind of keep this tower alive by herself is really quite poor, really, from the most part. It does make it a little bit harder because obviously techies, you know, we saw the game at ASL 1 where Zayak on VP was just kind of owning OG because they were really kind of forcing things and, you know, trying to take down towers and just kind of running into them. But right now, you know, Tia has Deso at 14 minutes, top net worth, and although Jug, you know, has good farm, and he is going Battle Fury, he's not really going to be out to out carry a PL. So Quap has rotated top now, so at least there's some kind of movement, and I end up rotating as well. It's not even needed really for me to be there, and we end up killing the PL altogether. So, you know, that's good. You know, we've killed PL like once or twice now, able to kind of pressure the tower. But it's just, to be honest, this is kind of a lower skill game for my cause in the sense that they're not really making a lot of movement. So I'm just kind of trying to help out where possible. We end up kind of killing the TA now as well, because I'm just looking to kind of set up plays with my team. And, you know, if I'm with my lone droid, we can take towers, but it's only so much I can do. Obviously, I need to kind of play around my team because of that. We end up taking the tower, which is good, but arguably it's a bit late already. 15 minutes to take the T1 tower as a lone droid is it's a bit late. But tower T1's been kind of taken mid, and I'm looking to kind of rotate onto the Pia who's just sort of TP to his safe lane. I talk about TPing to your safe lane so many times in a lot of my other carry videos, and particularly past the laning stage. You TP to your own T1 tower, you're isolated, you can't go anywhere else on part of the map, and you're also very threatened and kind of being ganked and killed as he is. So, you know, bad play from the PO as well. So it's not just sort of my team as well. And this is good though, so I kind of recognise that PL just died TP'd, and now Lone Droid's with us as well, so we're able to kind of really take the Tier 1 towers, which is good. And this is the kind of state we want to happen, really. I want to be playing fast, I want to be kind of making plays throughout the game. And I have a smoke on me as well, and I kind of want to keep the pressure up. So I end up kind of pinging the next wave. Make sure, obviously, when you smoke, making sure that the wave is cleared out. In this case, obviously, a ward was on top of us, which is a bit of a shame, really. They obviously saw that, ping us out. And I'm looking kind of to sort of set up kills in the map. Annoying thing about Teggy's, really, is his mind's going to spot you even through smoke, which is a bit of a shame, really. But, you know, it's kind of a decent hero throughout. Disruptor kind of walks up, ends up getting punished for it, but again, it's not really the kill we want that much, although the Lone Droid is kind of keeping up somewhat with the TA. But PL has Diffuser Blade, ends up kind of setting me up and killing me, but I'm obviously with my team here, and even though he has this Diffuser Blade, he's not that tanky just yet. Kind of poor roll from the Pango, end up killing him anyway, and we're able to kind of just reset, and we killed the techies as well. So kind of decent play throughout right now. We're 4K up. We've been we wanting to be playing fast. That's what's been happening here, and that's what we're able to make happen. But I mean, Jug's still kind of staying in his safe lane. Like, it's been 17 minutes, not participating at all. He has ultimate, and you know, I think if you're playing like an anti-mage style of hero, or even like a PL, I think it's fine to kind of just farm. But when you're an aggressive hero like Juggernaut, you're really like an enabler. That's kind of your role as a hero. And if you have Omni Slash and it's off cooldown, you have to be using it. You can't just be hitting creeps with it off cooldown, because you're not playing to the hero strengths. So right now, mid tier 1's taken, tier 1 top's taken as well. We have kind of two plays really to be had. Either we, first of all, we want to be playing in their jungle for the most part. We have Vision here, and it's also around Roche as well. Seeing as we're Radiant, we want to even more so be playing the offlane as a team and as a kind of an objective, because we can be taking the tier 2, we can be taking the jungle, and we can be taking Roche as well. So Roche is one objective, and the other objective is probably the tier 2 Osmog into him to get one of those things. My team ends up picking out tier 1 tower bot, which from a lower perspective, you think maybe the taking all the tier 1s is the right objective and the right idea. But I've talked about this in other videos, but the enemy offlane tower, which is obviously in this case this one, it's really the most and the least important tower out of all of them, because like this tower, once you take this tower, it doesn't really offer you too much kind of ability or mobility into the enemy triangle. It does a little bit obviously because you can kind of walk up this direction, but really it's the tier 2 that kind of protects this area, and also the tier 1 mid as well. It's the furthest part out of the map. It doesn't protect Roche, doesn't do anything. It's really this tower doesn't really do much for us. So normally, like, you'll see this in competitive games as well. Normally, you'll see the tier 2 in the offlane tower drop before the enemy safe lane tower is taken. Because normally, when you take these towers, you take both of them in quick succession, perhaps with Aegis, and you end up taking, or pushing the high ground bot as well. But taking the tier 1 tower bot doesn't really do much. If people were TP, I think there was one TP bottom. It's if you're TPing bot to take this tower, then you're kind of restricted on elsewhere on the map. As we sort of see, I end up trying to go and make a play on the techies, but I end up being tanky enough to survive both the disruptor and the techies combo, and that goes back to kind of my level 10 talents. So 10 health regen versus 0.5 wall stun duration. I think both are really good. You just have to keep in mind that as we sort of see my team sort of taking bot, but it's good that I'm pushing out mid as well. They don't really technically need me too much. They shouldn't really be pushing in too much. Taking the tower is one enough. Like right now, my Penguin's making plays top. My team's taking a tower bot, and I'm playing mid. So it's just like, this is kind of a lower tier game in the sense that too many things are happening at too many times. And in competitive games, you'll see that being punished a lot of the time. That if an enemy team is making a play onto their carry, then they will make a smoke play onto the enemy carry, and so it makes the enemy team kind of split in terms of how many resources they can do. And as a result, Pango ends up dying because my team's making plays bot, and I'm showing mid as well, and he ends up dying. But going back to my talents quickly, so 10 health regen. It's just really important to note that when you play a melee kind of position 4, that obviously you need to be in the thick of the fight. As fight's happening bot, I can't be there. It's not really much I can really say. That they get in some kills, which is good. End up losing the quad, but it's fine. But anyway, back to the point I was trying to make. So you have to be tanky when you play position 4, because you're going to be playing into the thick of the fight. So being as tanky as possible allows me to get my spells off. Like, I'm not a backline spellcaster, I'm not like a Shadow Demon or a Rubik or any other kind of squishy position 4. Like, I have to be in the thick of the fight, and that's why I've gone Phase Boots. Gives me like 4 armor, useful against the TA. I've also gone Medallion. I have Wand. I even have Dragon Scale as well. And I just want to be as tanky as possible. And the 10 health regen is really nice. It kind of doubles my health regen, so it's really good value here. The 0.5 second of Walrus Punch is nice, and it is useful, particularly against BKB targets, because it goes through BKB. But really, the only target I will be punching this game is probably TA. And seeing as I just want to be tanky as much as possible, the health regen I think is a better talent. I see GH going for a lot of the health regen talents. I can just even go for the 400 health as well. I'm trying to go for the bounty runes, but obviously I have no support, and I have to TP back. Otherwise I probably would have died, although I was very tanky, so I walked back. My Jug dies in Ancients here, and that's kind of goes back to this tier 1 tower doesn't really make you safe to farm the triangle, because they have a tier 2 here and a tier 2 here, and it's marked up with vision and mines as well. So again, Jug kind of playing alone and by himself and slowly but surely, this net worth we had, I think 4 or 5k net worth lead, and it's slowly slipping. And we kind of need to be keeping the tempo up and playing as 5 and as strong as we can. TA doesn't have BKB yet, but slowly will. And once she gets BKB, we're going to really struggle to kill her, really. And with PL being kind of a big threat already as well, he has markings towards the Manta. Our team isn't going to be killing and winning this late altogether. Jug TPs to his safe lane at 21 minutes, which I have talked about time and time again. He's isolated. They even ping him out knowing that he's just TP'd bottom. So if they take a fight now, Jug is nowhere to be seen. So I have to back off. And again, they're able to farm unencumbered, basically, altogether. I'm just kind of trying to keep vision of the enemy team, really. Like, there's not much I can really do. If my team wants to farm, I can't really force things, really. So I'm just kind of keeping vision of where the PL is and where everyone else is. My team ends up sort of showing up. And I kind of snowball on the Tusk onto the PL and realise I kind of need to be on other targets because I can't threaten the PL at all. Fight happens, Jug is nowhere to be seen, and he has Omni Slash available as well. And this just kind of goes back to having TPing to your own T1 safe lane. And so, like, just keep in mind that when you play position 4, a lot of your kind of value and presence is in the early game, and I set up kills, mid, top, bot. There's only so much I can really do. Obviously, like, I kind of carry the early game, but at the end of the day, it's your team's cores that really kind of go ahead and kind of have to carry the game going forward. So you can have a big impact. I do like playing support. Honestly, I really enjoy it, because I've played carry before, and the game can be ended by 20 minutes, because we end up getting rolled over in the early game. So there's there's two sides of it. Like, either you play carry and you have to rely on your team to play the early game, or you play the position 4 or the support and you carry the early game but have to rely on your cores in the late game. Like, they're taking Roche now. We kind of need to have some kind of threaten over it, but we're not. Again, this goes back to kind of the Jug not playing the top half of the map. If he's playing bottom, he has no impact over Roche at all. I kill the Disruptor, but now is really kind of when the tables have kind of completely turned. We've gave him Roche. TA has BKB now. PL has his Manta coming out. And although Jug has, Battle Fury, Mask of Madness, and Yasha, it's just nowhere near as impactful as PL with the same items, or TA with similar items now as well. Even though I've killed this TA twice, Lone Droid doesn't have nowhere near as much as the same presence as the TA. And that's just kind of the heroes, like, you need to know and understand what heroes do what, We try and end up playing a fight a little bit in the mid lane, but with Pangawawi being down kind of thing, it's a little bit of a threat. Obviously my snowball gets sort of doppelganged, and this is just where TA kind of sort of snowballs out of control. We kill the Underlord. I go on to the techies here. Perhaps maybe a little bit poor target priority for myself. I know that I can kill the techies. Perhaps I could have threatened the PL or the TA, which perhaps could have been poor target priority from myself. But at the same time, after Jug ulties and loses Omni Slash, there's not much really else we have left in the tank in terms of team fight. So we end up kind of losing that one team fight, and this just goes back to them, or us really, giving them all the space they want. This is kind of like, TA is almost similar to a Meepo in the sense that the first Roshan is really important, because once they get the first Roshan, they can take that one team fight and then kind of just push high ground and start threatening racks, which in this case they did. And we need to be kind of having pressure and aggression throughout the game to make sure that PL and TL, PL and TL, PL and TA feel threatened to farm, but in this case they kind of had a free farm, even though we'd threatened them in the ganks here. We have a good ward, we spot the TA, and obviously in games like this where you're kind of behind and you know you're behind, you have to kind of look for any kind of aggressive play and look for any kind of unrealistic and kind of YOLO play you can. In this case, we take the TA's Aegis again, which is good. Delays them kind of pushing high ground, and we kill the Disruptor as well. Poor little Disruptor. This Disruptor's died 11 times this game, but again, it's all about the win condition heroes. And in this game, it's the TA and the PL. Jug ends up dying to Teggies. Can't do much about that really, to be honest. Yeah, the game's kind of very, very rough in this position going forward. Just want to talk about like talents. For level 15, I like the snowball damage. I talked about the 400 health is really good because you kind of want to be bulky as much as possible. But having the 150 snowball damage is really nice because once you have max ice shards and max snowball with the talent, you can clear creep waves completely, which is actually really nice. Particularly for any kind of support, clearing waves is really, really important for creating pressure and the such like. End up maxing Snowball over the ice shards. It's something that I saw. I've been watching a lot of GH Tusk. I think he's one of the best, and he maxes Snowball. Although I do like maxing ice shards, and it's only because of the recent change to the 7.25 change or buff, in the sense that it scales better. Like it gives 10 damage per level and 40 altogether at the max level, and it reduces the cooldown. Whereas the Snowball, like only 1 second reduction in cooldown, and it's a little bit of extra damage and a bit of extra stun duration. I think both are good. I just think stun kind of trumps everything, and that's probably why GH maxes it, and I do like it. And also having the extra speed as well is useful, so they can't just walk away from the Snowball. So that's kind of the game really, and I wanted to show you a game where I lost because all my videos so far have been games I've won. Hopefully you were still able to kind of get something out of this game. I talked a lot about rotation and kind of the understanding and the mindset of a position 4. I think it's actually very difficult to make videos from a support's perspective because you're not just following a formulaic kind of formula. It's not like, okay, do X, then Y will happen, and then Z will happen, which can normally occur from a carry's perspective, in the sense that you play carry and you do this and you do that, and the game's kind of very simple. Playing a support is very, very situational. It depends on the enemy team, depends on your team, and that's kind of what makes it quite fun as well. It's the most varied kind of aspect of games. It's always so different and always so varied, and that's why I love it really. And also, I like being a captain as well. I'm captain for my my university team, which we end up winning the nationals, and I just enjoy it because you're able to make plays and make calls. But sometimes everything you do, even if you play well, you can still end up losing games, whether you play any role. But I thought I'd show you something, guys, a bit different. I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed it. But if you enjoy the video, guys, please like and subscribe. I've eventually got a YouTube partnership, which is great. I have 1080p-ness, 1080p on my videos. I get some monetization now as well. So please subscribe, like, watch for the ads, all that jazz, if you like and want to support me, guys, as a content creator on YouTube. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you in the next one. Keep keyboarding, grinding. Peace.
Oh boy. Fist bump.